Life will challenge you. It will test you in ways you never imagined. But here's a powerful truth. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not what happens to them, but how they respond to what happens. You see, the key to thriving in this world isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about strengthening your mind to handle anything that comes your way. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. How to build a mind so strong that nothing can break you. If you want to stop feeling powerless in the face of adversity, if you're tired of giving up every time things get tough, then you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to show you how to develop the kind of mindset that turns every obstacle into an opportunity, every setback into a step forward, and every difficulty into a chance to get stronger. Now, let's be clear, this isn't about wishful thinking or positive affirmations that don't mean anything. This is about taking responsibility for your own life, owning your challenges, and trusting your ability to rebuild when things go wrong. You'll learn how to develop a resilience that allows you to bounce back faster, think clearer, and keep moving forward, no matter what. Stay tuned, because by the end of this, you'll know exactly how to build a mind so strong that nothing, absolutely nothing, can break you. Let's dive in and make this transformation happen. Number 1. Mental strength is not natural, it's earned through consistent, intentional choices. Mental strength isn't something that's just handed to you at birth. It's not something that you can wish for or wait for it to show up. It's not a talent that some people have and others don't. Mental strength is something you earn, and you earn it through deliberate, intentional choices every single day. That's the key. Mental strength doesn't happen by accident. It's a result of what you decide to do when life gets tough, when you're tired, when you want to give up, and when everything seems like it's against you. This is where your true strength is forged. When we think of strength, we often think about physical power. You might think about the gym or someone lifting weights, but mental strength? That's different. It's about the ability to keep moving forward, even when the odds aren't in your favor. It's about your ability to stay grounded when the world seems to be pulling you in every direction. You don't just wake up one day and suddenly become mentally strong. You don't suddenly have this powerful mindset because you read a book or had a motivational conversation. No, mental strength comes from the daily grind, the small decisions you make each day that build up over time. It's the consistent choices that, when stacked together, create a rock-solid foundation. It's easy to think that the tough times we go through are the times we should avoid. We all want to avoid pain, discomfort, and struggle. Who wouldn't? But here's the truth, those tough moments, the moments you wish you could escape, they're the very moments that are molding you. They're shaping your mental strength in ways you don't always see. Each time you get through a challenge, no matter how small it may seem at the time, you're making your mind stronger. Think about it. Every time you push through something difficult, whether it's a project at work, a personal goal you're trying to reach, or even just getting through a tough day, you're strengthening your resolve. It's like building muscle. Each rep, each challenge builds you up, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. The truth is, mental strength isn't about waiting for everything to be easy. It's about showing up when it's hard and staying consistent, even when you don't feel like it. There's nothing glamorous about showing up day after day when the results aren't immediate. When you don't get the praise, the recognition, or the instant success, it's easy to want to quit. But the secret to mental strength is found in not quitting, even when you don't see instant results. It's in deciding to keep going, even when the path feels unclear or when success feels so far away. It's about doing the work, doing the hard work, and trusting that the results will come, even if you can't see them right now. Mental strength is built in the trenches. It's built when things aren't easy. If everything in life were easy, we wouldn't be able to build that muscle. There's a reason why life throws curveballs. There's a reason why things don't always go according to plan. These challenges are not punishments, they're opportunities to grow, to strengthen your character, and to prove to yourself what you're capable of. Every time you feel like giving up, every time you feel like you can't go any further, that's when you have the chance to make the choice to keep going. That's when you get to prove to yourself that you can handle whatever life throws at you. That's the difference between a mind that's strong and one that breaks under pressure. Every decision you make contributes to building your mental strength. If you're constantly choosing to avoid discomfort, you're not strengthening your mind, you're weakening it. If you give up every time things get tough, you're reinforcing the belief that you can't handle challenges. But if you choose to face the challenges head on, if you choose to lean into the discomfort and keep moving forward, you're strengthening your mind. You're teaching yourself that you can handle difficult situations and that, no matter what, you can keep pushing forward. The choices you make, the things you do day after day, are what will shape you into a mentally strong person. Think about how easy it would be to skip your workout or put off the hard task. It's easy to get distracted or avoid the difficult things in life. It's easy to let yourself off the hook and say, I'll do it tomorrow. But here's the reality, tomorrow never comes. If you keep putting off the hard stuff, you're not building mental strength. You're training your mind to take the easy way out. But the strong mind chooses the hard path because it knows that's where the growth happens. Look at the people around you who you consider mentally strong. What's the common denominator? They didn't get there by avoiding the hard stuff. They didn't get there by staying comfortable. They got there by constantly pushing themselves, by making the choice to do what needed to be done, even when it wasn't easy. The strong-minded person knows that the only way to grow is by stepping out of their comfort zone and into the discomfort. They understand that mental toughness is built when you challenge yourself, when you push past your limits, and when you refuse to give up, even when things seem impossible. But here's the thing, building mental strength isn't an overnight process. It takes time. It takes consistency. It takes a daily commitment to show up, even when you don't feel like it. And it's not about making one big decision and calling it a day. It's about the hundreds, even thousands of smaller decisions that lead to something bigger. It's about making the decision to stay focused on your goals, even when distractions are everywhere. It's about doing the work even when you don't feel motivated. It's about making the choice to persevere day in and day out, even when it's tough. And over time, those small choices will compound. They'll add up. And before you know it, you'll have built a mind that is so strong, it can handle whatever life throws at you. Don't wait for the perfect moment to start. Don't wait for the day when everything feels easy. If you do that, you'll be waiting forever. Start today. Start with the small decisions. Start by pushing yourself just a little bit more than you did yesterday. Start by choosing to keep going, even when it feels hard. Because that's how mental strength is built, through the consistent, intentional choices you make every single day. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to show up, keep going, and refuse to give up. That's how you build a mind so strong that nothing can break you. Number 2, you become strong by doing what you said you would do. The foundation of true strength doesn't come from just thinking about the things you want to do or imagining a better future. It doesn't come from making plans, setting goals, or dreaming about success. True strength is built when you do what you said you were going to do, no matter how difficult it might feel. This is where real growth happens, when you stop making excuses, stop procrastinating, and take action on the commitments you made. It's in the doing, not the dreaming, that you develop strength. Think about it for a moment. How many times have you promised yourself something and then didn't follow through? Maybe it was to wake up early, or to start a new workout routine, or to finish that important project that's been hanging over your head. You might have had the best intentions when you made those promises to yourself, but when it came time to follow through, something always seemed to get in the way. You might have felt tired, distracted, or just not in the mood to push forward. But here's the thing, every time you don't follow through on what you said you would do, you weaken your resolve. It's like taking a little chip out of the foundation of your strength. But when you follow through, when you do what you said you would do, you build that strength. You reinforce the belief in yourself that you are capable of achieving what you set out to do. This isn't something that just happens on big, important days. No, it's in the small things. It's in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when the pressure isn't on, when there's no one to applaud your efforts. It's in those moments that your strength is truly built. And the more you do what you said you would do, the more you realize that you are capable of more than you ever thought possible. Each time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you can trust yourself. You can trust your word. You can rely on yourself to keep promises, no matter how small they seem. Now, doing what you said you would do is about consistency. It's about showing up day in and day out, even when the motivation isn't there. Motivation comes and goes, it's unpredictable. Some days you feel ready to take on the world, and others you feel like staying in bed. But when you make the decision to do what you said you would do, regardless of how you feel, you create a habit of consistency. And consistency is what builds strength. When you stay consistent, even when it's hard, even when you're not in the mood, you develop a mental toughness that can't be broken. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment to start. You don't need to wait until you feel inspired or motivated. You just have to do it, even when you don't feel like it. That's the moment when your true strength is formed. What's important to realize here is that strength is developed through actions. It's not something you can simply think about. You can think about doing things all day long, but if you never take the action, nothing will change. If you say you're going to work out, but you don't, you're not going to get stronger. If you say you're going to finish a project but keep putting it off, you're not going to make any progress. The actions you take or don't take are what shape your strength. It's the work that builds the muscle. And not just the physical muscle, but the muscle of your mind, of your resolve, of your discipline. And this doesn't mean that everything will be easy. In fact, it will likely be quite the opposite. The challenges you face, the obstacles that get in your way, they're all a part of the process. They're not something to avoid, but something to embrace. Every challenge is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you can overcome it. When you do what you said you would do, even when things get tough, you strengthen your ability to keep going, to push past discomfort, and to rise above any situation. That's the real test of your strength. Not how you react when things are easy, but how you react when things are hard. What separates the strong from the weak isn't talent or luck. It's consistency. It's showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's doing what you said you were going to do, even when it seems like the odds are stacked against you. And here's the thing, the more you show up, the easier it gets. It might not feel that way at first. In the beginning, it's hard. It's uncomfortable. You might be tempted to quit. But as you keep doing the things you said you would do, it gets easier. Your mind gets stronger. You develop a habit of discipline, and that discipline becomes your new normal. You don't have to rely on motivation anymore. But you don't have to wait for the perfect moment to do the work. It becomes automatic. You just do it. And that's how you build strength. Not by waiting for things to fall into place or for everything to be perfect. You build strength by doing what you said you would do, day after day, no matter how you feel or what obstacles get in your way. You do it because you know that every small act of consistency builds something greater inside of you. You know that every time you follow through, you are one step closer to the person you want to become. You are one step closer to the life you want to create. And you're one step closer to the strength that will carry you through anything life throws your way. This isn't about perfection. It's not about being flawless. It's about commitment. It's about doing the work, whether you feel like it or not. And every time you do what you said you would do, no matter how big or small, you become stronger. You build a foundation of trust with yourself. You show up for yourself, and in doing so, you develop the mental strength that will help you face anything that comes your way. So the next time you say you're going to do something, don't just say it. Just do it. Take action. Follow through. That's where strength is built. That's where progress happens. And that's how you become the kind of person who can tackle any challenge and come out stronger on the other side. Your word is everything. When you say you're going to do something, make sure you follow through. Because in doing so, you are creating a mindset so strong that nothing can break it. Number 3. Silence doesn't mean weakness, it means control. In a world that often values loudness, instant opinions, and visible actions, silence can sometimes be misunderstood. People may think that silence equals weakness, that not reacting immediately or speaking up at every opportunity means you're afraid or incapable of standing your ground. But nothing could be further from the truth. Silence doesn't mean you're weak. It's a powerful tool. It represents control, discipline, and most importantly, strength. The ability to remain silent in moments of tension or provocation shows a level of emotional control that many people, despite their loudness or constant chatter, don't possess. It's a sign of inner power, a skill that has been mastered by those who understand the importance of thinking before they speak or act. We live in a time where reactions are immediate and voices are loud. Everyone has something to say and everyone wants to be heard. But in all this noise, there's something invaluable about someone who can keep their calm, stay composed, and respond from a place of thought, not reaction. Think about the moments in life when things get chaotic, when emotions are running high, when tempers flare and the temptation to react in anger or frustration is at its peak. It's in those moments that true strength shows. The person who stays quiet and waits for the right moment to speak is often the one who holds the most power in the room. The key to understanding this power lies in recognizing that silence is not about retreating. It's not about giving up your voice or being passive. It's about controlling the moment, the situation, and yourself. It's about not letting the external world dictate how you feel or react. When you can remain silent, when you can hold your ground and not let external noise disturb your internal peace, that's when you know you're in control. True strength comes from within, and it's cultivated in moments of self-control. It's easy to react impulsively, to let emotions drive your words and actions. But being able to pause, breathe, and think before responding is what separates those who are emotionally weak from those who are mentally strong. People may think that silence means you have nothing to say, but often, it's the most powerful people who say the least. They understand that words, once spoken, can't be taken back. And sometimes saying nothing is the best course of action. It's a reminder that not everything deserves a response. Not every criticism, not every comment, and not every challenge needs to be met with an answer. The ability to hold your peace, to listen without jumping in with your own thoughts, is a rare skill. It shows confidence in yourself, a belief that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't have to engage in every conversation or react to every situation to show your worth. Sometimes staying silent is the strongest thing you can do. It's also important to understand that silence is not just about avoiding conflict. It's about being present and being in control of your emotions, your thoughts, and your reactions. It's about taking the time to consider your response carefully, to choose words that are thoughtful and measured. When you remain silent, you give yourself the space to reflect, to think about what's truly important, and to respond in a way that aligns with your values. In many situations, people act out of impulsivity, letting their emotions dictate their words and actions. But when you hold your tongue, when you wait before responding, you're giving yourself the opportunity to act from a place of strength, not fear. In moments of confrontation, whether personal or professional, silence can be incredibly powerful. It's not about shutting down the other person or ignoring their feelings. It's about giving yourself the time to listen, to fully understand the situation, and then choose your words with care. By not rushing to speak, you create an environment where you can respond with clarity and confidence. You don't allow the other person's energy or words to throw you off balance. You maintain control of the conversation and steer it in a direction that serves your purpose. Silence gives you the upper hand because it allows you to assess the situation fully before making your move. Moreover, silence can be a form of protection. It shields you from unnecessary drama, from emotional triggers, and from getting pulled into conflicts that aren't worth your time. People who constantly engage in verbal battles are often the ones who waste their energy on things that don't matter. They get caught up in petty arguments, toxic relationships, and noise that only serves to drain them. But those who know the power of silence are able to step back and protect their peace. They don't need to get involved in every disagreement or defend themselves at every turn. They know that silence is a form of strength because it allows them to conserve their energy for the things that truly matter. It's not about ignoring the world, it's about choosing where to direct your focus. In the long run, silence can also make your words more impactful. When you're the person who doesn't speak all the time, when you choose your moments carefully, your words become more valuable. People start to pay attention when you do speak. They know that when you say something, it's meaningful. They know that you've taken the time to think things through, to reflect, and to respond with purpose. The person who is constantly talking may eventually lose their audience because their words begin to lose weight. But the person who speaks only when necessary commands respect and attention. There's a profound strength in silence, and it comes from the understanding that what you choose not to say is just as important as what you choose to say. It's about knowing that sometimes saying nothing is the most powerful form of communication. It's about understanding that silence doesn't mean you're weak or incapable, it means you have control over yourself and the situation. It means you have the power to respond thoughtfully and wisely, not impulsively or emotionally. Silence is a tool, and when you use it strategically, it can give you an edge in any situation. You don't have to yell to be heard, and you don't have to argue to make your point. Sometimes just holding your silence speaks louder than any words ever could. So next time you're faced with a situation where you feel the urge to react, remember this: silence is not weakness. It's strength. It's control. It's the ability to stay grounded, to listen, and to respond with purpose. In a world that often values noise over substance, silence is the true power. And when you master the art of silence, you will discover that your control over your emotions, your actions, and your responses makes you unstoppable. Number 4, rewire your mind to see struggles as training, not punishment. Life doesn't always unfold the way we want it to. We face challenges, setbacks, and obstacles that often feel like they're meant to stop us in our tracks. But here's the truth. Struggles are not meant to break you. They are not punishment. In fact, they are the very things that shape you into the person you need to become. When you learn to see struggles as training, rather than punishment, you shift your mindset in a way that unlocks your potential and strengthens your resilience. That shift in perspective changes everything about how you approach life's challenges. The key to success is not about avoiding difficulties. It's about embracing them. When you rewire your mind to see struggles as opportunities for growth, you stop feeling like a victim of circumstance and start feeling like a warrior in training. Think about the most successful people you know, the ones who seem to handle adversity with grace and come out stronger on the other side. They've been through tough times too, but what sets them apart is their ability to view struggles as a necessary part of the process, not something to be feared or resented. They understand that growth happens in the discomfort, that progress is made when you push through the hard times and come out better on the other side. The reality is that most of us are taught to avoid pain and difficulty. We're conditioned to think that if something is hard, it's a sign that we're doing something wrong or that we're not meant for it. But the truth is, that kind of thinking will hold you back from achieving your full potential. Every challenge you face, every obstacle that gets in your way is there for a reason. It's there to teach you something. It's there to prepare you for the bigger challenges that lie ahead. The key is to reframe how you look at these moments. Instead of seeing them as setbacks, see them as stepping stones. Every struggle is a chance to build your strength, your character, and your skills. Imagine a weightlifter in the gym. They don't get stronger by lifting weights that are easy for them. They get stronger by lifting weights that challenge them, that push them to their limits. And even though it feels difficult in the moment, they know that each rep, each set, is making them stronger. The same principle applies to life. The struggles you face are like those weights. They're there to build you up, not break you down. The more you learn to embrace them, the more capable you become. But here's the thing. It's easy to get discouraged when things aren't going the way you want. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that everything is against you, that the world is out to get you. And in those moments, it can feel like you're being punished. It can feel like the universe is testing you in a way that's unfair. But what if, instead of seeing these struggles as punishment, you started to see them as part of the process of becoming who you're meant to be? What if you started to recognize that these challenges are not happening to you, but for you? When you see struggles as training, you stop giving up when things get hard. You start to dig deeper, push harder, and keep moving forward, even when the road ahead seems difficult. You understand that every challenge is an opportunity to learn something new, to grow stronger, and to become more resilient. You start to welcome the struggle because you know it's making you better. This mindset shift doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, practice, and a commitment to changing the way you think. But once you start to view your struggles as training, you'll find that your entire approach to life changes. You'll stop being afraid of failure because you'll understand that failure is simply part of the training process. You'll stop being intimidated by challenges because you'll know that they are the very things that prepare you for success. When you look at struggles in this way, they lose their power to defeat you. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, you start seeing them as opportunities. Every setback becomes a lesson. Every difficult moment becomes a chance to grow stronger. And when you look at life this way, you'll find that you can handle anything that comes your way. It's important to remember that you're not alone in this process. Everyone faces struggles. No one is exempt from challenges. But what sets successful people apart is how they approach those challenges. They don't see themselves as victims of their circumstances. They see themselves as warriors in training. And the more they train, the stronger they become. So the next time you face a challenge, remember this: it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. It's not punishment, it's training. Embrace the struggle. Learn from it, to grow from it. And when you come out on the other side, you'll be stronger, wiser, and more capable than you were before. Keep pushing forward. Keep growing. Keep training. Because every challenge you face is shaping you into the person you need to be to achieve your dreams. The more you learn to see struggles this way, the less power they have to hold you back. Instead of feeling defeated, you'll feel empowered. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, you'll see them as stepping stones toward your success. Life is not meant to be easy, but it is meant to be meaningful. And the meaning comes from the struggles, the lessons, and the growth that happens along the way. So take a step back and ask yourself, how can I embrace the struggles in my life as training? How can I see the challenges I'm facing right now as opportunities to grow? The answers to these questions will change the way you approach life forever. And once you start seeing struggles as training, you'll realize that there's nothing in this world that can stop you from reaching your goals. You are stronger than you think, and the struggles you face are only there to prove it. Keep going, you've got this. Number 5, emotion without structure destroys progress. Emotion is a powerful thing. It can drive us, inspire us, and push us to do incredible things we never thought we could. It's the fuel that keeps us going, especially when the road gets tough. But here's the catch. Emotion without structure can destroy all the progress you've made. It can cause you to act impulsively, make decisions that aren't aligned with your goals, and even sabotage your long-term success. Understanding this truth is the first step toward achieving lasting progress. And it's crucial if you want to build something meaningful in your life. Let's face it, we all have moments when we're overwhelmed by emotion. It could be frustration when things aren't going our way, excitement when we're chasing after something new, or fear when we're facing a challenge that feels bigger than us. These emotions are natural, and they play a significant role in motivating us to take action. But the danger comes when we let those emotions drive us without any sort of plan or structure behind them. Imagine you're at the starting line of a race. You're fired up, your heart is racing, and you can feel the energy coursing through your body. You're ready to go. But instead of following the path, you just start running in whatever direction feels right in the moment. You're moving fast, but you're not making progress. You're just running in circles, burning all your energy without getting any closer to your destination. That's what happens when you let emotion guide your decisions without structure. You end up expending energy on things that don't serve your long-term goals. Think about it. When you're acting purely based on emotion, you're reacting to the situation rather than responding with intention. You're not taking the time to think about what you really want and how to get there. Instead, you're swept away by the tides of your feelings, and before you know it, You've spent all this time and energy on something that doesn't move you forward. The excitement fades, the frustration lingers, and you're left feeling defeated, wondering where all that energy went. But if you had a clear plan, a structure to guide your actions, you would be much more focused, much more purposeful in your pursuit. This is why emotion without structure can destroy progress. It's not that emotion is bad. In fact, emotion is essential for motivation. But when you allow your emotions to lead without any clear direction, they can cause you to veer off course. Structure, on the other hand, provides the framework that channels your emotions in a way that moves you forward. It helps you focus on what matters most, prioritize your actions, and stay on track when the emotions inevitably rise and fall. Let's take a look at some of the most successful people in the world. They don't just act on their emotions. They use their emotions to fuel their actions, but they do so within a structured framework. They have a vision, a plan, and clear goals that guide their decisions. The emotion of excitement might drive them to take action, but it's the structure of their plan that ensures those actions are aligned with their ultimate goals. When things get tough and frustration sets in, their structure keeps them grounded. When fear creeps in, their plan gives them the confidence to keep going. And when success finally comes, they can look back and see that every step they took was part of a deliberate, well-thought-out journey. Now let's talk about how you can start creating this structure in your own life. The first step is to identify what you really want. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of life and start pursuing things that sound good in the moment. But if you want lasting success, you need to get clear about your long-term goals. What is it that you truly want to achieve? What is the bigger picture? Once you've defined that, you can start breaking it down into smaller, actionable steps. This gives you a clear path to follow, and it helps you channel your emotions into something productive. With structure in place, you can begin to make decisions with intention. Instead of reacting to whatever emotional wave hits you, you'll have a roadmap that keeps you focused on what matters. When you feel excited, you'll know exactly where to channel that excitement so it leads you to progress. When you feel frustrated, you'll have the tools to work through those feelings in a way that doesn't derail your progress. And when fear creeps in, you'll have a plan that reminds you of why you're doing this in the first place, giving you the courage to keep going. The next piece of the puzzle is consistency. It's easy to get motivated when you're feeling inspired or excited, but motivation alone won't get you to the finish line. Progress requires consistent effort, day in and day out. This is where structure becomes your best friend. When you have a plan in place, you know exactly what needs to be done, and you can focus on doing it consistently, even when the emotions aren't as strong. The days when you feel discouraged or exhausted, your structure will be there to keep you going. It's like having a safety net that catches you when your emotions threaten to throw you off course. You also need to remember that emotions are temporary. They come and go, and they're often influenced by external circumstances. One day you might feel on top of the world, and the next you might feel like everything is falling apart. That's the nature of emotions, they're unpredictable. But structure is reliable. It's a constant that you can count on, even when your emotions are fluctuating. When you rely on structure, you're not at the mercy of your moods. You're in control of your progress, regardless of how you feel in the moment. So when you find yourself feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, or unsure of what to do next, ask yourself, am I letting my emotions control my decisions? Am I acting on impulse? Or do I have a clear plan that's guiding my actions? If the answer is the former, it's time to step back and reassess. Take a deep breath, get clear about your goals, and create a structure that will keep you on track. Use your emotions to fuel your actions, but make sure those actions are aligned with your long-term vision. The key to progress is not just feeling motivated, it's taking that motivation and channeling it into purposeful action. And the best way to do that is with a solid structure in place. When you combine emotion with structure, you unlock your true potential. You create a foundation that allows you to build something meaningful, something lasting. And as you do, you'll find that progress isn't something that's out of reach. It's something you can create, one intentional step at a time. Number 6, Stop quitting every time it gets difficult. It's easy to quit when things get hard. It's human nature to seek comfort, to avoid pain, and to escape the struggle. But if you keep quitting every time it gets difficult, you're setting yourself up for a lifetime of frustration, regret, and missed opportunities. The truth is, the hardest moments are often the most important ones. The moments when you feel like giving up are the moments that test your resolve and shape your character. It's in those moments that you either break or you rise. You either let the challenge defeat you or you use it to fuel your progress. The key is not to quit when it gets tough, but to push through, to embrace the difficulty, and to keep going. So why is it so tempting to quit when things get hard? Well, let's face it, struggle doesn't feel good. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. It's easy to question whether it's worth it when the results seem far away or when the obstacles seem insurmountable. And that's exactly where most people throw in the towel. They quit because they're not seeing instant rewards. They quit because it feels easier to walk away than to face the discomfort. But here's the thing, quitting might give you relief in the short term, but it robs you of the growth, the strength, and the lessons that come from pushing through the hard times. Think about it. Every time you quit, you're reinforcing a pattern in your mind. You're teaching yourself that you can't handle difficulty, that you're not capable of pushing through when things get tough. Over time, this pattern becomes a habit. The next time things get hard, you'll be more likely to quit again. And before you know it, quitting becomes your default response. You start to believe that it's easier to give up than to keep going. And that mindset will hold you back from achieving anything meaningful. But if you can learn to stop quitting when things get difficult, you'll start to build resilience. Resilience isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop over time, through practice and perseverance. Every time you push through a difficult moment, you're strengthening your ability to handle the next challenge. You're showing yourself that you can take on whatever comes your way and come out the other side stronger. And that's how you build real success. Not by avoiding the struggle, but by embracing it and using it to your advantage. Let's take a moment to think about some of the greatest success stories in history. Do you think those people got to where they are by quitting every time things got tough? Of course not. They faced obstacles, setbacks, and failures just like anyone else. But instead of giving up, they used those challenges as stepping stones. They kept going, even when it seemed impossible. They kept going because they knew that success was on the other side of perseverance. They understood that the struggle was part of the process. And that's why they're where they are today. You can do the same. You can stop quitting every time it gets difficult and start using those challenges to fuel your growth. But it requires a shift in mindset. You have to stop seeing difficulty as something to avoid and start seeing it as an opportunity to grow. You have to stop thinking that success should come easily and start accepting that it's the hard work, the setbacks, and the struggles that ultimately make success worthwhile. The next time you feel like giving up, remind yourself of why you started in the first place. Think about the vision you have for your life, the goals you want to achieve, and the person you want to become. If you quit now, you're giving up on all of that. You're giving up on your future self. But if you push through the difficulty, you're taking one step closer to the life you want. You're building the foundation for your success. You're proving to yourself that you are capable of achieving greatness, no matter how hard the road may seem. One of the biggest mistakes people make is expecting success to be linear. They think that if they work hard enough, everything will fall into place, and they'll see progress right away. But the truth is, success isn't a straight line. It's more like a winding road with plenty of bumps along the way. There will be times when you feel like you're moving forward, and then suddenly you hit a wall. There will be times when you feel like you're making progress, and then you take 2 steps back. That's normal. It's part of the process. But if you quit every time you hit a roadblock, you'll never get to the destination. It's also important to remember that success isn't about avoiding failure, it's about how you handle failure. Failure is a part of the journey. In fact, it's often the best teacher you'll ever have. The key is to learn from it, grow from it, and keep moving forward. If you quit every time you fail, you're missing out on one of the most valuable lessons you can learn. Failure is not the end, it's just a detour on the road to success. The more you fail, the more you learn, and the closer you get to your goals. So how do you stop quitting every time it gets difficult? It starts with a commitment to yourself. You have to make the decision that no matter how tough things get, you won't give up. You have to remind yourself that the struggle is temporary, but the rewards are lasting. You have to focus on the bigger picture, the life you want to create for yourself, and refuse to let momentary discomfort stand in the way. But it's also about developing the habits that will keep you going when things get tough. You need to build resilience by taking small steps every day to strengthen your mindset. When you face a challenge, instead of running from it, lean into it. Ask yourself what you can learn from this situation. What is this challenge teaching you? How can you use it to grow stronger? The more you practice this mindset, the easier it will become to keep going when things get difficult. Remember, the road to success isn't easy. If it were, everyone would be successful. The difference between those who make it and those who don't is simple. The ones who make it never quit. They understand that success isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about embracing them, learning from them, and using them to fuel their progress. The next time things get tough, remind yourself that you're not alone. Everyone who's achieved something meaningful has faced difficulties along the way. The key is to keep going. The key is to stop quitting every time it gets difficult. Because when you do, you're one step closer to the success you've been working so hard for. Number 7. Confidence comes from proof, not positive thinking. Confidence doesn't come from just thinking positively or repeating affirmations in the mirror every morning. It comes from doing. It comes from action. It comes from proving to yourself, day after day, that you are capable. It's not about telling yourself you can do it while lying on the couch. It's about getting up, showing up, and doing the work, especially when it's hard. It's about taking those small steps, building evidence of your ability, and stacking those wins, no matter how small they may seem. Confidence is the result of proof, not some fleeting feeling or motivational speech. We all want to be confident. We all want to feel like we've got it together. But the truth is, confidence isn't something you can wish for or hope into existence. You don't just wake up one day and feel like you can take on the world without any real evidence to back it up. It's not some magical trait that a lucky few people are born with. Confidence is something you build piece by piece, one action at a time. And it all starts with proving to yourself that you can do the things you set out to do. Here's the thing, the more you do, the more you prove to yourself that you're capable. Every small task you accomplish, every goal you hit, every challenge you overcome adds to your confidence. It's like a bank account. Each time you show up and do what you said you would, you deposit a little more into your confidence account. And over time, that account grows. The more you show up, the more you prove to yourself that you can trust yourself. The more you trust yourself, the more confident you become. It's a simple process, but it's one that so many people overlook in favor of quick fixes or easy shortcuts. You see, positive thinking alone won't cut it. You can't just think your way into being confident. I'm not saying that a positive mindset isn't important, it absolutely is. But positive thinking without action is just a fantasy. You can think all day long about how amazing you are, but if you're not taking action, then you're not proving anything to yourself. Confidence isn't about hoping things will work out. It's about knowing you have the skills, the grit, and the resilience to make things happen, because you've already done it before. And the beautiful thing about this is that you don't need to wait for a big moment to start building your confidence. It doesn't matter if the task seems small. It doesn't matter if no one else notices. What matters is that you're proving to yourself that you can be trusted to follow through. It's those small wins, those moments where you do something you didn't think you could, that add up over time to create real confidence. Let's take a look at some of the most confident people you know. What do they all have in common? They don't just talk about their confidence, they show it. They don't just say they're capable, they prove it every single day. Confidence doesn't come from pretending to know everything or acting like you have all the answers. It comes from doing the work, making the effort, and learning from the failures along the way. Confidence comes from showing yourself that you can handle whatever life throws your way, no matter how tough it gets. And the more you do that, the more you'll start to see just how capable you really are. But the truth is, this process takes time. Building confidence isn't an overnight thing. It's not about having one big win and suddenly feeling invincible. It's about showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the small things that others might overlook, because those small things are the building blocks of something much bigger. It's about getting comfortable with discomfort, pushing through the fear, and taking consistent action, even when you don't feel like you have all the answers. The more you do this, the more you'll prove to yourself that you're capable of achieving whatever you set your mind to. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that confidence is about being perfect. It's not. Confidence doesn't come from being flawless or never making mistakes. It comes from being willing to step into the unknown, take risks, and keep moving forward despite the setbacks. Confidence is the result of learning from your mistakes, adjusting your course, and trying again. Every time you get back up after a fall, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. And the more you do that, the more your confidence grows. The key to real confidence is not only showing up, but doing so with integrity. When you say you're going to do something, do it. When you commit to a goal, follow through. The more you follow through on your commitments, the more you reinforce your own trust in yourself. Confidence comes from knowing that when you set your mind to something, you're not just going to talk about it, you're going to do it. You're going to make it happen. And over time, that consistency builds the belief that you can achieve anything. Another crucial part of building confidence is understanding that it doesn't come from external validation. Sure, it feels good when people recognize your achievements and praise your efforts. But true confidence comes from within. It comes from knowing that you don't need anyone else's approval to feel good about what you're doing. When you stop seeking validation from others and start proving to yourself that you're capable, you free yourself from the need to rely on anyone else's opinion. You become your own biggest supporter. You don't need someone else to tell you that you're doing a good job because you already know it. Confidence comes from proof, from the work you put in, and from the trust you build in yourself. It's about showing up day after day and proving that you can handle whatever comes your way. Every time you take action, no matter how small, you're adding to the evidence that you are capable, that you are worthy of success, and that you can be trusted to follow through on your goals. So stop relying on positive thinking alone. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you that you're good enough. Start proving it to yourself, one step at a time, and watch your confidence grow like never before. Because when you do, you'll realize that confidence isn't something you need to search for. It's something that's been inside you all along, just waiting to be unlocked by your actions. Number 8, a strong mind doesn't fear starting over. It trusts its own ability to rebuild. Starting over. It sounds daunting, doesn't it? The idea of hitting that reset button and building something from scratch, especially after you've invested so much time, energy, and perhaps even emotion into something that didn't work out as planned. But here's the reality. A strong mind doesn't fear starting over, it welcomes it. It doesn't panic when things fall apart because it knows deep down that it has the ability to rebuild. When you truly understand this, you'll see that starting over isn't a setback. It's an opportunity. And it's an opportunity that only a resilient, strong mind can embrace fully. You've heard the saying, it's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get back up. But what if, instead of just getting back up, you took it a step further? What if every time you faced a setback, you saw it as a chance to rebuild something even better than what you had before? This mindset is powerful because it completely shifts your approach. It shifts your thinking from defeat to opportunity, from fear to action. A strong mind is able to look at failure, learn from it, and use that knowledge to create a better version of itself. The mind that fears starting over, the one that clings to past mistakes and failures, is the mind that's stuck. And the longer you stay stuck, the further you get from what you're truly capable of. There's something incredibly liberating about knowing that you can rebuild. It's not about pretending that everything's fine when it's not. It's about accepting where you are, acknowledging that something didn't go as planned, and then making a choice to move forward. When you develop the belief that you can rebuild, you stop seeing failure as something that defines you. Instead, you begin to see it as something that refines you. Every mistake, every setback, every wrong turn you take can be used to strengthen your resolve, sharpen your skills, and build a foundation that's stronger than ever before. When we fear starting over, it's often because we're thinking about it in terms of what we've lost. We think about the time wasted, the energy drained, or the resources spent. But the strong mind doesn't focus on what's been lost, it focuses on what's been learned. Every experience, every misstep is a lesson. And when you start to look at your challenges as stepping stones, you start to realize that the process of starting over doesn't just give you another chance to succeed. It gives you another chance to evolve. A strong mind doesn't tie its self-worth to its past accomplishments. It doesn't define itself by the things that didn't work out. Instead, it finds its strength in the ability to adapt, to pivot, and to try again. And when you're not afraid of starting over, you become unstoppable. You no longer worry about how long it might take to rebuild, because you trust that, no matter the time it takes, you'll get there. You trust that your ability to adapt and grow will carry you through any challenge, no matter how big. The thing is, when you allow yourself to start over, you give yourself permission to take a different route. You get the chance to course correct, to refine your goals, and to fine-tune your approach. Sometimes the reason things didn't work out the first time is that you were following a path that wasn't truly aligned with who you are. Starting over gives you the chance to choose a new path, one that reflects your true purpose, your real desires. The only thing holding you back from this fresh start is your own hesitation, your own fear of failure. But here's the truth. There's no such thing as a true failure when you learn from it and use it as fuel to improve. It's easy to think that rebuilding means doing everything from scratch, but that's not the case. Every experience, every lesson you've learned up until now is a tool that you can use to your advantage. Every skill you've developed, every mistake you've made, and every challenge you've faced is part of the process that's shaping you into someone who is stronger and more capable than ever before. When you start over, it's not about erasing your past, it's about building on it. It's about taking the lessons and applying them to your next chapter so you can move forward with greater clarity and wisdom. But it's not always easy to shift your mindset from fear to possibility. It's natural to feel the sting of disappointment when things don't go according to plan. But it's in those moments of disappointment that you have the greatest opportunity to grow. Because it's in those moments when you're forced to look within, to dig deep, and to find the strength to keep going. A strong mind is one that can face failure without flinching, because it knows that failure isn't the end of the road, it's just a detour. It knows that no matter how many times it has to start over, it will always find a way to rebuild. If you want to build a strong mind that's not afraid to start over, you need to embrace the process of growth. Growth doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen because you wish for it or hope for it. It happens when you show up, when you face your fears, and when you commit to the work, even when the outcome is uncertain. Every time you start over, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more than you thought. You show yourself that your potential is limitless. You remind yourself that you have the ability to rebuild, to create something new, and to emerge even stronger than before. When you learn to trust your ability to rebuild, you stop worrying about the things you can't control. You stop stressing about the failures and setbacks that are part of the process. Instead, you focus on what you can control, your actions, your mindset, and your commitment to getting better. The stronger your mind becomes, the less you fear starting over. In fact, you'll come to see it as an exciting opportunity to evolve, to refine your goals, and to get closer to the person you were always meant to become. Starting over isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. It's a sign that you're willing to take risks, to embrace uncertainty, and to trust in your ability to rebuild. The strong mind doesn't fear starting over, it welcomes it. And when you learn to do the same, you'll realize that there's nothing you can't achieve. No matter how many times you have to start again, you'll always have the strength to rebuild and rise higher than before. Number 9. When you take full ownership, you take full power. The moment you fully accept responsibility for your life is the moment you unlock the greatest power you will ever possess. It's not always an easy thing to do. We've all been conditioned to look around for reasons why things aren't going our way. Maybe it's the economy, maybe it's the people around us, or maybe it's the situation we're stuck in. But the truth is, none of those things hold the power to define who we are or what we can achieve unless we let them. The moment you choose to take full ownership of your life, you take back your power. And that, my friend, is a game changer. Imagine living a life where you don't point fingers at others or blame circumstances for where you are. Imagine living in a world where you don't wait for permission to change or for someone else to fix things. It's all up to you. That's what ownership is all about. It's about recognizing that the choices you make, the actions you take, and even the thoughts you entertain are what shape your life. When you take full ownership, you stop giving your power away to things and people that you cannot control. You realize that the only person who can truly hold you back is yourself. When you take full ownership of your life, you stop waiting for things to happen. You stop relying on others to make things right. You understand that it's up to you to take the steps necessary to move forward. It's not about waiting for the perfect time or the right circumstances. It's about deciding right here, right now, that you are ready to make a change. You recognize that the time for excuses is over, and it's time to take charge. Taking ownership doesn't mean that everything will be easy or that challenges will stop coming your way. In fact, they may come harder, faster, and more often. But when you take responsibility for your life, you take control of how you respond to those challenges. It's not about avoiding hard times, it's about having the strength and the determination to face them head on and do whatever it takes to rise above them. Ownership means that no matter what happens, you know that the outcome is up to you. Too often we fall into the trap of thinking that we're at the mercy of life. We look at the world around us and see all the things that are wrong, and we feel powerless. But the moment you take ownership, you realize that you're not a victim, you're a creator. You have the ability to create your own reality. It's not about what happens to you, it's about how you choose to respond to what happens. When you take ownership, you start to see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to learn, grow, and become stronger. You realize that everything you go through, every hardship you face, is simply part of the process of becoming the person you were meant to be. Taking ownership also means understanding that you are not perfect, and that's okay. You don't have to have it all figured out. The key is to keep moving forward, even when you don't have all the answers. When you take ownership, you stop looking for someone else to blame for your mistakes or failures. Instead, you accept them as part of your journey. You learn from them, grow from them, and use them to fuel your future success. It's about becoming the kind of person who takes full responsibility for their actions, no matter what the outcome. And when you do this, you stop being controlled by fear, doubt, and indecision. You might be wondering, how do I start taking full ownership of my life? It starts with the simple act of choosing. Choosing to stop making excuses and start making progress. Choosing to stop blaming others and start taking action. Choosing to stop looking for shortcuts and start doing the work. Every single day you have a choice. You have a choice to own your decisions, to own your actions, and to own your life. And with every choice you make, you become more empowered. But let's be clear about one thing. Taking ownership isn't about perfection. It's not about always getting it right or never making mistakes. It's about owning every step of the journey, even when things don't go according to plan. It's about showing up every day, doing your best, and knowing that, at the end of the day, you did the best you could with what you had. Ownership means taking responsibility for your progress, but it also means being kind to yourself when things don't go perfectly. It's about knowing that you're human, that you'll stumble, but that you're always in control of how you respond. When you truly take ownership, you start to see that everything in your life is a reflection of the choices you've made. Every relationship, every job, every success, and every failure, everything you experience is the result of the decisions you've made along the way. And that's powerful because it means you can change your reality at any time by changing your choices. You have the power to create a future that aligns with your dreams, and it all starts with the decision to take full ownership. As you start to take full ownership, you will begin to see a shift in your mindset. You will start to think differently about your challenges. Instead of seeing them as obstacles, you'll see them as opportunities for growth. Instead of waiting for the right time, you'll make the right time. And instead of giving your power away to things you cannot control, you'll take control of what you can. It's about stepping into your power and recognizing that you are the one who determines your success. The beauty of taking ownership is that it doesn't matter where you are right now. It doesn't matter what you've done or haven't done. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you've made or how many times you've fallen short. The moment you decide to take full ownership of your life, you start writing your own story. You start creating the life you truly want, based on your own terms, your own choices, and your own vision. And that is a powerful, transformative place to be. When you take full ownership, you don't just take power over your own life, you take power over your future. You begin to create the reality that you want, the one where you don't wait for circumstances to change, the one where you are the change. When you take full ownership, you understand that you are the one who creates your destiny. You stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to succeed. You stop looking for someone to rescue you. And you stop playing the victim. Instead, you step into the role of the hero of your own story. And that's where the true power lies. So if you want to change your life, start with this: take full ownership. It's the key to unlocking your full potential. And the moment you do, you'll see just how much power you truly hold. You'll no longer wait for the world to change. You'll change it yourself. Number 10, embrace setbacks as stepping stones. Life is going to throw curveballs at you. That's a given. The question is not whether setbacks will come your way, it's how you choose to handle them when they do. We all face difficulties, some of us more than others. But the difference between those who rise and those who fall is simple. It's about how we view the setbacks. Are they obstacles that stop us, or are they stepping stones that push us forward? The truth is, setbacks don't have to break you. They can build you. They can teach you things about yourself that nothing else can. If you're not embracing setbacks as opportunities to grow, you're missing out on one of the most powerful tools for success that life has to offer. I know the idea of embracing setbacks sounds crazy at first. It feels unnatural to think that failure could be something good. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to get discouraged, to feel like it's the end of the road. But what if you could look at those moments, those tough times, and see them for what they really are? What if you could learn to see them as essential parts of your journey? Because the truth is, success isn't a straight line. It's a winding road with bumps, detours, and roadblocks. And each time you face a setback, you have the chance to learn something new, to grow, and to become stronger. The greatest achievements in history weren't built without setbacks. Think about the people who have reached the pinnacle of success. Do you think they got there without facing failures? Of course not. Every single person who has accomplished something truly remarkable has faced moments of doubt, disappointment, and difficulty. But they didn't let those setbacks define them. They used them as stepping stones. They learned, they adapted, and they came out stronger on the other side. That's how you build resilience. That's how you build character. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they face setbacks is they stop trying. They get caught up in the disappointment, and they let it stop them in their tracks. But if you want to be someone who overcomes challenges and comes out on top, you need to start thinking differently. Instead of asking yourself, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of looking at setbacks as signs that you're not cut out for success, start looking at them as lessons. When things don't go your way, ask yourself, how can I turn this into something positive? What's the next step I can take to get back on track? It's easy to think that success should come without challenges. After all, we live in a world where social media and the internet often show us only the highlights of other people's lives. It's easy to think that everyone else has it figured out, that they're succeeding effortlessly. But the truth is, everyone who has succeeded has also faced setbacks. And the ones who made it were the ones who kept going, even when things didn't go as planned. They didn't let failure define them. They used it as fuel to push them forward. Let's face it, setbacks are part of life. Whether it's a failed business venture, a relationship that didn't work out, a job loss, or a personal setback, we all go through it. The key is how you respond. Do you let it knock you down and stay down? Or do you take a step back, reassess, and keep moving forward? The most successful people in the world are not the ones who have never faced failure, they're the ones who kept going in spite of it. Think about the most successful people you know, the ones you admire the most. Do you think they got where they are without facing hardship? Absolutely not. Every one of them has faced challenges that seemed impossible to overcome. But they didn't let those challenges stop them. They used them as stepping stones to grow, to learn, and to move closer to their goals. The people who succeed are the ones who can turn setbacks into opportunities. They don't let failure defeat them, they use it to fuel their success. You've probably heard the phrase, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." While it may sound cliché, there's a reason it's been said so often it's true. Every time you face a setback and rise above it, you grow stronger, more resilient, and more capable. Each challenge you overcome adds to your experience, teaches you a new lesson, and prepares you for the next hurdle. The setbacks you face today are the foundation for the successes you'll achieve tomorrow. But you have to be willing to embrace them. You have to be willing to accept that setbacks aren't permanent. They are just temporary obstacles that you can overcome. The moment you start to see them as opportunities for growth, you'll unlock a whole new level of strength. The process of learning from setbacks is not always easy. It's natural to feel frustration, disappointment, and even anger when things don't go as planned. But you have to allow yourself to experience those emotions, then let them go. Holding on to negative emotions only keeps you stuck in the past. Once you've allowed yourself to feel what you're feeling, it's time to shift your focus back to what you can do next. What is the next step? What is the lesson here? Every setback holds a lesson for you if you're open to it. And when you embrace that lesson, you'll come out stronger and wiser. Setbacks give you the chance to build character. They teach you resilience. They show you what you're truly made of. When you face a challenge and push through it, you prove to yourself that you can handle whatever comes your way. And that confidence is a powerful thing. The more you face setbacks head on, the more confident you become in your ability to overcome them. It's a cycle of growth, where each challenge makes you stronger, more capable, and more determined to succeed. No one has ever achieved greatness without facing setbacks. And no one ever will. It's simply part of the process. The people who succeed are the ones who can take those setbacks in stride, learn from them, and keep moving forward. So the next time you face a setback, don't see it as the end of the road. See it as the beginning of a new chapter in your journey. Embrace the setback, learn from it, and use it as a stepping stone to get closer to your goals. The road to success is never smooth, but it's the bumps along the way that make the journey worthwhile. Keep going. Keep learning. Keep growing. Because each setback you face is one step closer to the success you deserve. So now you know your greatest strength doesn't come from what you own, where you come from, or what anyone else says about you. It comes from your ability to build a strong, unshakable mind. One that doesn't fold under pressure, one that doesn't run from failure, and one that doesn't stop growing. If you've made it this far, that tells me something important about you. You're not here to stay the same. You're here to rise. So take this message, don't just listen to it, live it. Apply it every day, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Because once your mind is solid, your life will follow. Keep working on yourself. Keep showing up. And never forget you were built for more. If this helped you today, share it with someone who needs it. Stay strong. And I'll see you in the next one.